are watching Political Conversations.
Good evening and welcome to Political Conversations on Freedom Square TV. We are of course reaching you from Enugu. Enugu is the coast city state, is the capital of Southeast Nigeria, and this is where we're operating from. The debate over who represents the political interests of Ndigbo for the 2027 elections has intensified in the early 2026, creating, as it were, a clear divide between established APC political leaders and the populist movement led by Peter Obi, championed by Dr. Okwesilieze Nwodo, the former governor of Enugu State. Just barely a week ago, APC leaders met in Enugu and endorsed holistically the re-election bid of Mr. President. And just a couple of days ago, Dr. Okwesilieze Nwodo on a national television said that those who endorsed Tinubu were on a free ride, and they did not speak for Ndigbo. So the question is, who truly speaks for Ndigbo? APC political leaders, Dr. Okwesilieze Nwodo, who is championing the case of Peter Obi, or Mr. Peter Obi himself? Or is it Ohaneze Ndigbo? Or is it, whether you agree they are prescribed or not prescribed, is it the IPOB? So who speaks for Ndigbo? Or is it the masses? This is the hard question confronting us this evening as I welcome our guest, Dr. Chikezie Obasi. Dr. Chikezie Obasi is a medical doctor turned political analyst. He actually is the secretary of the GAID, the Political Affairs Analyst of Nigeria, Enugu State Chapter. Doc, good evening.
Good evening, sir, and good evening our viewers, good evening Nigerians, and then Happy New Year.
Yes, it's Happy New Year actually, but in the southeast of Nigeria, Ndigbo are at crossroads once again. A hard choice is before them. Do they follow their populist brother, Peter Obi, or do they, as they are all flocking to one political party, support the re-election bid of President Tinubu? But the question is actually, who should the masses follow? Where are the masses? And so, I don't really know how to start, but let's say that the Southeast APC leaders have formally endorsed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as their sole candidate, arguing that aligning with the federal government is the shortest route to an Igbo presidency. What do you say to that?
That's a lie.
Which one is a lie?
It's a lie. What the Southeastern political leaders said. The shortest route to aligning would have been in 2023. That would have been the shortest route if I know what I mean by shortest route. But for me, the shortest route now is any gambling, I call it gambling, between now and 2031. The longest route is around 2039 when you have a change, of presidency. But coming to telling me that the shortest route is by supporting Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that's not true. Because at the end of the day, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, if he wins the election, 2031, the power will be rotating to the north, and then it will come back to the 2039 again. So that's what they're telling us, is that the only time the Southeastern man would look at that power is by waiting till 2039. That means that is their shortest, route course. But for me, the shortest route could be anything between now and 2039. That's the truth. If Peter Obi goes to that, throws his hat in the ring and is able to win, and I mean, if he gets into the ring and he is able to win, that becomes the shortest route, and that could occur now, could occur 2031, could occur 2034, or even that 2039. So that's why I say what they said is not correct.
Okay, the APC leaders are claiming, as it were, that the region, which is the Southeast region, has moved from the crossroads of history to shaping history through infrastructure projects like the Eastern Railway and the Southeast Development Commission.
You see, I think those of us who are leading, who are leaders in the Southeast should not forget the average Igbo man. He is a person with, his own ideology. He does not pander to the leaders. We grew up to know that, what do we call it, Igbo Enweze. We grew up to knowing that so many communities do not have a central leadership. We always, comrades, sit down in a place and take a decision. So it's not like somebody will get up like other regions of Nigeria. And I can tell you for free, if you look at the statistics coming out from the South, I think in 2015, Southeast was able to give APC, I guess that was 12% vote. 2019, that was the peak of it, I think 17%, less than 20%. And 2023, it was 6%, or 5.13%. So I don't know where the magic will repeat itself. The only magic there that will make APC, begin to get the percentage above what they have today is that P2B is not on the ticket as either the president or the vice president of any political party.
Okay, a former governor of Enugu State, Dr. Okwesilieze Nwodo, and former PDP national chairman, has emerged as a prominent critic of the APC leaders' endorsements. Nwodo claims, and rightly so, maybe, that the political elite are not speaking the mind of our people. He said this on open television, and that their support for the APC is based on stomach infrastructure rather than the will of the electorate. How does this situate with you?
But that's the truth. He didn't speak what is not correct. We are always maintained that, the southeastern persons do not align with APC. I just gave you out the statistics now, and that statistic did not change. Even when one of the, aspiration of yearnings of IPOB, which was to build a second Niger bridge, was even completed by APC. In 2023, they got merely less than 6% of the votes. Not because the South is seated Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but because they feel that they've been badly treated, in Nigeria, and as such, they want to stick to, one of their own. Don't forget that in 1999, the Southeastern man Alex Ekwueme, was outmaneuvered. In a party, he was among the, people that formed it. And Alex, what's his name? Obasanjo won the primaries of PDP. Southeast waited, even when our own brother again, the man from Ebonyi State, worked hand in hand to see that Buhari emerged as, the presidential candidate of APC. And then we felt that in 2023, Nigerians should have understood clearly that this is, a business of dog, playing in the field. They should have simply said, okay, this zone that have, sacrificed a whole lot, they should be given that slot. But we saw it's like, let's conspire and take it away. That's the average Southeastern man's thinking and belief. So the issue is that, like, it's a case of he who is on the ground fears no fall. It doesn't matter what you bring to the Southeast today. It will be difficult to convince a Southeastern man that if P2B is there on the ballot, they should not vote him. Unless P2B is not there, that's a different ballgame altogether.
Okay, P2B, as of December, had no political party. But early January, P2B had pitched his tent with the African Democratic Congress, ADC, positioning that party as a formidable opposition platform. Nwodo predicts a repeat of the 2023 tsunami, asserting that Obi remains the surest bet and that his popularity will again overwhelm established political structures in states like Enugu, Imo, Abia, Anambra, and the Ebonyi states. So do you agree with him?
Without one single doubt, not even 1%. Once Obi picks a ticket, even if it is Isusu political party, some of us had actually predicted and argued that Obi should have for long, moved into a political party, he and the Obedient will be in control. But like I said, once P2B is on the ballot, either as the president or the vice president, the vibration that will come from the Southeast, none of these Southeastern governors.
The South is not looking for a vice presidential candidate.
Now I'm trying to let that's what I'm saying. Say if he is either as a candidate or vice presidential candidate, the noise, the vibration that will come from Southeast, none of these governors will stop it. Not because, let me put it clearer, if he becomes a vice president, not because Obi has done something wonderful, if you really begin to look at it, but because the people of the Southeast and in Nigeria in general are really passing through excruciating pain. The government looks, cares less about the yearning of the masses. They've not really done much to assuage or significantly tell Nigerians that we are interested in resolving the crisis in Nigeria. And that has affected the Southeast so much. Let me give you a typical example. Insecurity. Insecurity has ravaged every part of Nigeria. And in Southeast, I can tell you there are so many communities that didn't celebrate this Xmas because of insecurity in their communities. Now, can you say visibly this is what the federal government has done? Either, significantly telling Nigerians, and this time around the Southeast Ndigbo, that this is how we are going to curb the insecurity. Rather, we are still hearing every day of kidnapping on increase, policies and, promises given by the federal government and even by the state government is not yielding any tangible positive results. As I speak to you today, which is what I told somebody, I said, if you think there is security in any part of Southeast, be unlucky to be informed that your mother was ill by 8 p.m. any day. You have only two options at the village. The only option you have is please wait till tomorrow morning, because you will not risk your life traveling a distance of more than 50 kilometers outside of any state capital in Southeast at night. You will be so afraid that you might be kidnapped, maybe if you go into one lonely place or the other. So you could see that first, the Southeastern people cannot say this is Nigeria being better today. Insecurity has overwhelmed us. Economically, the poverty rate in Nigeria has increased more than you can actually imagine. We used to have 110 million, but the latest estimate is talking about 140 million Nigerians, which means we are inching towards a terrible disaster, when it comes to poverty rate. The average purchasing power, as well as we might say that things have really been stable, but the purchasing power is still poor. I can tell you that let me say 2015, a house officer in Enugu was receiving 180, 200 and something thousand naira as monthly payment. That guaranteed him $1,000. Today, an average consultant does not get up to $1,000. And the prices of items he is still using, the books, the television, the phones, things that you make this work, and machines are still priced in dollars and are still expensive. So I'm using that as an example, and that goes across the board. So Nigerians are suffering, and they are not seeing this government in good light. Now our people and our leaders actually seem to be not to be sensitive to the yearnings of the masses. You remember when they were talking about defection? Some of us were like, please don't defect. Let's wait until this time. And it's becoming clearer that defecting into APC is a difficult one. Again, there is another group, the IPOP. This IPOP group, which you can deny, contain, a made up of a whole lot of younger Igbos. They believe that they have been unduly, nicknamed terrorist group. Their leader have been incarcerated without good, reason, and they cannot route for APC. That's the simple truth. They have much hatred for APC. Then, on the side of the government, they are not seeing the good communication vibe coming from the government. So if you look at it critically, it becomes difficult to convince an average Southeastern man this is the reason why you should dump anybody coming from Southeast first. You might call it bigotry, I call it anything, but this is politics. Politics is from via how people feel emotionally to vote another candidate. And I can tell you that if any candidate, if P2B picks any ticket, and any candidate comes under P2B in any of the states, be it at the state, federal, or local government elections. The other candidates may have to rest.
Okay, I'm going to come to that. Let me say what APC responded to Obi's influence. And the chieftain of the APC, known as Paul Ikone, claimed that Obi's influence is fading and that the region is becoming a one-party stronghold for the APC, predicting over 90% of the Southeast vote for APC. What do you say to that?
He took Kai. He's under the influence of something.
Which one is Kai?
He took the very 70-something% alcohol. It's not realistic. There's no way, I predict, do free and fair election in the Southeast unless it's only APC contesting. I'm not in any way against APC. I'm just doing my analysis as a political analyst. If you do any analysis in the Southeast, even if Peter Obi is not there, but was said to have been a presidential candidate, but on a known party, this average Southeastern man wouldn't mind going to that place to destroy the ballot paper by thumbprinting multiple parties. I'm trying to say, what am I trying to point out? Once Peter Obi is on that ballot paper, I will tell the APC, please go and campaign in other areas. They will not win Southeast. 90% is, I don't understand what he's trying to put across. Even Peter Obi did not win, I think it was 89-point-something% in the last election, with all the overwhelming support he had in the Southeast. So you're going to telling us 90%. Please, he should, sorry, I must tell you, if he was paid, he should be economical with statistics and tell himself the truth. If APC scores 20% vote in the Southeast under free and fair election, it's a miracle.
Okay, I think you and some people may be overblowing this. Enugu State is APC controlled. Ebonyi is APC controlled. Imo is APC controlled. The Anambra governor, Nwodo, has said vote for APC presidential candidate. And I don't see Oti not doing so. So with these 5 governors actually routing for one man, Tinubu, and you still say what you are saying with Nwodo and co, who should the people believe?
The people should believe themselves. They don't need to believe any of us. The truth of the matter is what we are telling you is what's on the street. There's a difference between the governors and the president. Somebody might like the governor but not the president. The truth will still remain and I'll still maintain. Any of these governors that have gone into APC had this rating go down a little bit. That's the truth. Even if you like, let Oti enter APC today, his rating will go. One will still remain 70,000 and the bag of rice still goes between 50 and 60,000, local rice. And that makes it difficult. So if you are paid in a month, you only use that money to transport yourself to work and buy a bag of rice. You have a family of 4, you're going to go hungry. So the purchasing power is poor. The government is not communicating effectively with the people. It's not giving Nigerians hope. Peter Obi asked a question, and for the benefit of this interview, I'm not really routing for Peter Obi, but we are just using him as, the face of opposition. He asked a question, where is Mr. President? And when I listened to the answers given by people in government, I laughed. This is an election year. Peter Obi asked a simple question. Are you trying to educate him that Peter Obi does not know where the president went to? He's playing politics. Now, what you needed to do was to adopt the response Lai Mohammed gave to Obasanjo when Obasanjo was campaigning against Buhari. I told him, if you remember that response, Buhari was against Lai Mohammed responding to Obasanjo. But in one of the statements, if I might paraphrase, he said clearly, former Mr. President, he was talking to Obasanjo, he said that perhaps he was not aware that Nigeria had bought Tucano jets, that he wanted to inform him that Nigeria has moved forward with solving insecurity by collaborating with USA and buying Tucano jets. Now that is the kind of response
he deflected.
Yes, that's the kind of response I expect.
Okay, there are 2 stories I don't know if you are familiar with. There was a visit by His Excellency the Governor of Enugu State and Orji Okalo to Jim Nwodo. And soon after that, Ben Obi and Sam Igbo also visited Jim Nwodo. And Jim Nwodo made a statement that is still posting the internet. People said he endorsed Obi, but people say he only described Obi as a respectable and accepted by all. Which of these stories are you aware of? And what is the implication, by the way, of Jim's response to Sam Egwu and Ben Obi saying that Peter Obi is respectable and accepted by all?
The truth of the matter is that Jim is one person that understands the, popularity. For those who may not know, if Jim enters any place in the old Enugu, in old Anambra, in Enugu State today, Anambra or Ebonyi, the places where, he handled as a governor. Once you identify him as Jim Ifeanyichukwu Nwodo, what you hear the crowd shout is, Jim. It is something that has lingered. It has lingered from 1980s to today.
He's a charismatic leader.
Exactly. So he understands what popularity is like. He understands what popularity is like, and you can't take it away from him. The truth is that Peter Obi resonates in the fabrics of an average Igbo man. So he knows clearly that Peter is respected here. Is any of the statements he mentioned, is it a lie? Let Peter announce that he was going to Ogbete tomorrow. I can tell you Ogbete will close. For that moment, he will be in Ogbete. The mob the mob will almost lynch him. That is Peter for you. Don't take it away from him, especially in the south. Let me not say elsewhere, but let me say the southeast part of Nigeria. So what he said is correct. No, those visiting Jim Nwodo, I believe they should have known that at this age, Jim will not be flipping from one political party to the other. He's not contesting any position. He's an elder statesman. He's a person that most likely would want to stay, and spend his life quietly. It will be difficult for me to say that Jim will get up and endorse a candidate as a politician. He can give you that advice, but I think the last he might do is with the state government, not at the federal level. But just like you rightly pointed out, whatever he wanted to say, he had said it all. He's respected, and he's popular among the people. You can't take it away. You can't deny it.
Okay. Marginalization of Ndigbo. Nwodo and his group are happy on that. They believe that the Southeast is marginalized. But the APC guys who will point to current federal projects, they talk about Minister of this, Minister of Works, they talk about appointment given to Peter Mbano long ago to oversee military institutions around the country. They talk about some strategic appointments, and they talked about the Southeast Commission. But Nwodo argues, he said APC singled out Southeast for oppression. How true is that?
That's false narrative. The false narrative. Right. But the truth is that an average Nigerian is marginalized by the political elite. Who says the government of the day is marginalizing the Southeast? Is it that they withhold their, their allocation that's due to the Southeast? Is it that the Southeast is not getting the fair share of, infrastructure? Or is it that the Southeast has not gotten their own appointments? But I blame the government at the center, and that's what I keep saying. When you do these things, do you follow it up with strategic communication? Do you only go to Arise Television, Channels Television, and so on to talk? Do you have the local people that will permeate these decisions, this infrastructural development down to to the populace? Let's take, for example, for anybody who is watching us or living in Enugu, knows clearly that if you look at the road infrastructure in the Southeast today, you can't take it away that Dave Umahi has done creditably well. For some of us who are in Enugu, we know how many flyovers are going on in Enugu now. I think 2 federal flyovers, or 3, because you have that in Calago, junction going on. And I think one is almost completed. We know the second lane of Enugu on the Expressway. We saw what happened when the Enugu-Port Harcourt bridge collapsed, you know, the government quickly did something around it. But I can tell you, there are so many other projects going on in Enugu and other parts of Southeast that are unknown, you know, to the populace. When you do not advertise your product, who else do you want to advertise it for you? Your opponent will continuously lambast you, and that's what Nwodo is doing. What he's doing is what he should do as an opposition man, you know, to talk down on APC, but the truth remains that what he said is not correct.
Okay. There's a single question. Well, do I call it a question or do I call it an opinion? Many APC people believe that P2B will not be on the ballot, at least not in ADC. And so, why try waste their time? Why try imagine something that may not really happen? They say they can't see, what's his name now?
Atiku Abubakar stepping down for P2B.
Stepping up to P2B, that's number one. And by the time that is done, you don't know at what point they will do their
primaries,
their national convention, and it might be too late
for Peter to move to another
political party. And so they said, look, as far as they're concerned, they're seeing the future. They're sticking with Mr. President.
Let me say something I know. They will ask you, for some of us who are into academia, they will tell you to always do SWOT analysis. And in SWOT analysis, you look at your weakness, and internal analysis, look at your strength first. Your weakness, those are issues that are working with you. Before you begin to look at opportunities and threats. It's surprising for me if Mr. President has good strategists and they're looking at opportunities and threats, which is it involves the external body. P2B being on the ballot or not being on the ballot should not be conditions for Mr. President to win an election. You should be able to win an election believing and in politics. And even when you have opportunities to make a decision, you take the worst decisions. You choose the worst outcome in a decision to analysis so that you can mitigate against it. Now, let's look at it. It's a 50-50 chance. P2B is not on the ballot. Why are we wasting our time? And then ADC turns out to give P2B on the ballot. If they forgot something on that ballot paper, ADC is directly ahead of APC. You see ADC, the next party is APC. So what do you think will happen? A lot of people who might want to vote APC will vote ADC. So it's strategic when they chose their political party. So they should not forget
what vice versa.
It's almost difficult.
Suppose those who want to vote ADC now vote
APC. It's not a plus to ADC, it's not a plus to APC. It's a plus to AD. Go back and look at, I think, is it Sowore party? Sowore, I know you know, I think you realize that Sowore was number 4th person in that election. Go and check the position of his political party. You know the ballot paper, the parties will be small. So let them not make that mistake. Those that chose ADC didn't make a mistake.
That would explain why some people are planning that ADC should be taken out, that they've not meet the constitutional requirement. In fact, the matter is for coming for hearing.
In fact, I think that is the strategy APC may use.
Yes, they're saying that ADC and
they have a faction,
Zenith Party,
Labour Party,
that they've not met the constitutional requirements,
yes,
and therefore should be.
It is possible that may be a last card, but I will tell you, even when you are playing the last card, do not forget that there might be a window for these political parties to change their candidates up until November this year. And any political party can be used to shopping. And once the populace perceives that the ruling party wants to, to stifle the opposition, it works against the government.
Okay, I have 2 questions for you before we end this conversation. One is the one-term pledge strategy of P2B and his followers. Some supporters of P2B proposed a one-term pledge for him in 2027 to reset Nigeria and allow power to return to the north in 2031. A strategy that is intended to build national alliances. How feasible is this?
If Peter wins the primaries, let me begin from there. He can begin to champion that. If Peter wins the primaries, if Peter champions that before the primaries, it will work against him. You see, it will be difficult for you to convince an average Northerner today that you will go only one tenure. When Jonathan in 2012 did the same and failed, you are calling them fools. Now, it could be a strategy when you win the election. You can now get the northern people who are in APC and said, ADC to say, please, I'm going to relinquish this power for you guys in the next 4 years. Why don't you support me? Then they'll now begin to weigh either supporting you and taking it over back in 4 years' time, or going out to stay and waiting for anything that will happen to them. But if you use that strategy to convince the northerners, I don't know who agreed to that.
Okay. Is there a united Igbo voice for 2027? Do you foresee it in anytime soon? A united Igbo voice?
No, first, I don't want to believe there's a united voice anywhere. Even not in the north, no part of Nigeria has united voice. In the last election, Peter Obi scored 89% of the votes. Bola Ahmed Tinubu barely made it 60%. And I don't think there was any candidate anywhere that had more than 65% for his own region. So it simply implies that no region unanimously endorsed their own, son as the sole candidate of that region. So if you really ask me, Igbos who had, the Southeastern that gave Peter Obi 89% of the vote, we are more unanimous than every other region of the country, you understand? So, but I don't think there's any point where you could see the Southeastern persons sitting down to say, we the Southeastern persons endorse. And for me, I do not really, like that. In 2018, am I correct? 2019 presidential election, precisely January, I can't remember the date. Ndigbo put up a letter, if you remember that letter, in which they endorsed Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi. And the leader of the Ndigbo then was Nwodo. And in that write-up, he said the first sentence of that letter said that they are endorsing Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi because he chose their son as their vice presidential candidate. And I, for one, was against it. Because I believe that Peter or any candidate so chosen is a vice presidential candidate for constituencies Nigeria, not Ndigbo. So I'm not expecting anybody to come out to say Ndigbo has said this. No, don't do that. That may not be right. But I can tell you that unanimously, once Peter is on that ballot, what had happened in 2023 will repeat itself.
Okay, Peter Obi commands massive popularity especially among the youths. Can popularity alone translate into power in 2027? And then the big question is, what must Obi do differently going forward?
First, I believe popularity does not translate into winning votes. Some of us who are against, the pattern which he used in 2023, I believe he must have learned some lessons now. That's number one. Number two, I expect that Peter, if he picks the presidential ticket, he should forget the South. He needs to have a very massive inroad in the North. He needs to talk to the average person on the street. He needs to give hope, to the hopeless. He needs to tell Nigerians that, look, a new dawn has arrived. He needs to tell Nigerians that, look, we have to change things differently. He needs to tell the Alamajuru, the farmer, the villager in the North, that, look, there is hope coming. He needs to tell the Boko Haram man that which you feel made Nigeria, not a country, is coming to an end. That we're going to work towards. Don't forget that those that you call bandit criminals, IPOB, terrorists, and so on, they're all expressing anger against the nation, in one way or the other way. So I think that's what Peter Obi needs to do. Then he must have a formidable structure. There is a lot of prevaricating which he did in the last few years, where he does not really panders to a whole lot of things. He doesn't stick out his neck. If he becomes presidential candidate, he should be able to stick out his neck and say what he should do. He shouldn't be, standing in between when issues occur. He should be able to dole out international diplomatic measures, how we should lead Nigeria out of poverty. Not just statistics, but empirical, in empirical terms. What different would you do from what the government is currently doing? And if he is able to do that, I can tell you, there's no way he will not win the election. Not because Peter is good, but Nigeria wants a change.
Okay, not because Peter is good, but Nigeria wants a change. So, Dr. Bassi, in 1 minute, 60 seconds, what is your final message to Ndigbo ahead of 2027 elections?
First is every candidate should be evaluated based on what he has done. Do not say because your governor is in APC, Labour Party, or a candidate is following P2B or following at Bola Ahmed Tinubu or any other person, you will not vote the candidate. Remember, at the end of the day, when this voting settles, we are going to see the candidate's performance. We saw that happen in 2023, where we had almost all Labour Party candidates win seats in Enugu here. Today, they're all in APC. So I think what happens is that we shouldn't be emotional about it. 2023, we begin to analyze these candidates. Please always remember that if your governor has performed, irrespective of the political party he is in, please, you vote him back. If you choose a candidate, choose a candidate because the candidate is you're feeling convinced is able to deliver, not because of party affiliation.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Obasi, and thank you for your insights. Thank you for your analysis. Thank you for your data. Thank you for speaking to Ndigbo on the way forward come 2027. And so we believe that next time when we invite you, you'll find time to come. And to those who have been watching us, we want to say thank you very much. We know you are there. Remain blessed. Join us again on Political Conversations here on Freedom Square TV. Good night.